Hello my dear friends, welcome to Series English. My name is Antonia Remarker and today we're going to talk about one of the most complicated topics in the English grammar, and that is mixed conditionals. I should say that this topic is rather advanced already, and that's why if you master it, you'll sound more like a native speaker. So let's get cracking. Today we're going to talk about two constructions. The first one, mixed 3 and 2 conditionals, is extremely popular. It's much more popular than the second one. What is it? Here we talk about an imagined or a real event in the past and a present result. So we combine an imagined or real event in the past with a result in present. That's why number 3 is imagined or real event in the past and number 2 is a present result. Now, let's take a look at how this construction works, how it is formed. Here we are supposed to use past perfect in the if clause and would plus infinitive in the would clause. So actually it is quite logical because when we deal with number 3 conditional, we are supposed to use perfect forms. And that's why we use past perfect in the if clause. And when we use the second type of conditional in the would clause, this is how it looks. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. If you had taken my advice, you wouldn't have any problems now. So we have an event in the past. If you had taken my advice, so you didn't take my advice. This is in the past. And we have a present result. You wouldn't have any problems now, so you do have problems now. That is a present result. The second example, if she'd taken reasonable precautions, she wouldn't be pregnant now. Once again, we have an event in the past, if she'd taken reasonable precautions. Here we have an imagined, so if she actually had taken reasonable precautions, I wish she had taken them, but she didn't, so we imagine. And we have a present result, she wouldn't be pregnant now. Well, the result is actually that she's pregnant now. This is just a negative form. So we combine an event in the past and a present result. That's why here we have conditional number 3 and here we have conditional number 2. Two more examples so that it would be 100% clear to you. First, if he'd gone to a university, he might have a better job. So if he had gone to a university, an imagined event in the past, he might have a better job, a present result. So the result is that he doesn't have a good job now. If we had won the competition, we would be going to New York next week. So here we have an event in the past, a competition which we took part in, but unfortunately didn't win. And the result is going to New York next week. By the way, it is actually not a present result, it's even a result in future, which is also possible. So be careful. Here I should point out that we can convey the same idea using conditional number 3, when we are supposed to use perfect forms in both parts of the sentence. So in the if clause we use past perfect, and in the second clause we use would plus perfect infinitive. An example, well actually two, we transform the sentences a little. Take a look. If you had taken my advice, you would have solved all your problems by now. As you can see, the idea is very close, but it is formulated a little bit differently. So here, you would have solved all your problems. So the result is actually the same, it is in present. So you wouldn't have any problems now, but we changed the sentence a little bit and made the action complete. You would have solved all your problems by now. The second example, if she had taken reasonable precautions, she wouldn't have got herself pregnant. The same here. The action in the second part of the sentence now changed into a finished action. And that's why we use type 3 conditional in both parts of the sentence. It is possible. In this case, of course, it's not a mixed conditional sentence. And now we're going to talk about one more type of mixed conditional sentences. Here we have the opposite combination, 2 and 3, mixed conditional 2 and 3. With this combination, we are describing ongoing circumstances in relation to a previous past event. Once again, it is all very logical. Type 2 is connected with present. Type 3 is all about the past. And that's why the structure is also quite understandable. In the if clause, we use past simple as we would in type 2. And in the second clause, we use would plus a perfect infinitive. That is, have plus the verb in the third form if it is an irregular verb, or the verb with the ending ed. This is perfect infinitive. And usually we use it in type 3 conditional sentences. 2 examples. If he weren't so short-tempered, he wouldn't have been fired so quickly. At the very beginning, we have ongoing circumstances, some information which is true now. It is still true now in present. He is short-tempered. He's still short-tempered. And in the second part, we have a past event. He wouldn't have been fired so quickly. So he was fired rather quickly because of his character. Okay, and the second example. If I weren't so lazy, I would have worked harder and passed my exams. The same here. I am lazy. So that's why I didn't work hard enough and I didn't pass my exams. So here we have some information connected with present. So it is some general information, a quality, for example. Here we can also say something like, if he had more courage, he would have saved that girl, for example, but he just walked away. Okay, that's it for today. We talked about 2 constructions. The first one was much more common. This one is less common, but is still used sometimes. That's why we need to know how it works. So that's it. I hope that now you have a better understanding of what mixed conditionals are all about. If you have any questions, as usual, feel free to write to me. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please press the button, like it, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to continue studying English with me. And I hope to see you soon. Happy English and Russian practice. Bye!